YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and all across the globe on various different platforms, and who have gathered for the beautiful morning NithyanandaSatsang by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Today, before the NithyanandaSatsang, where we are going to receive the direct initiation, the direct words and revelations of the sacred secrets by the Supreme Pontiff Avatar of the Hinduism, Avatar Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, we are going to be understanding why Kailasa and the rat race you don't even know that you are in, and how to escape from the Maya matrix. A brief introduction to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the reviver of Kailasa, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is an avatar as per Hinduism and is the Supreme Pontiff, the Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived the science of power manifestation, yoga, and created the temple-based universities for the humanity. The sovereign order of Kailasa that is led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the Nithyananda order of monks, nuns, and the Hindu diaspora are working for global peace and to give a superconscious breakthrough to the humanity. The Nithyananda Hindu University, which is the world's largest Hindu university with extended campuses in over 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading, and reviving the 20 million source books of Hinduism and the 64 sacred arts and sciences. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Shyamala Pita Sarvajna Pitam, which is the ancient apex body of Hinduism. He is the present emperor of the Suryavamsa Surangi Samrajyam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by the anti-Hindu elements. News and updates from Kailasa. Yesterday, the Kailasa's Nithyananda Hindu University entered into the day 5 of Paramashivoham Level 2, Season 25, crossing over 330 days of unbroken online services to the people from all across the globe for 100 countries. Upcoming events: Kalabhairava, where you go beyond the fear of time, fear of death, to go beyond time. Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Kalabhairava, the Lord of Time and Space, on 4th of April 2021, on the auspicious occasion of Kalabhairava Ashtami. The ultimate bestower of health, where we have the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Vaidishwara to be blessed with the best of health and spiritual healing from all ailments. This is on 7th of April 2021. And that is also the day where the United Nations World Health Day is being marked. What is it that we'll be learning today? What is the rat race? How millions of people around the globe, knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, are caught in the rat race without any way to get out of it? What is the solution to escape from this Maya matrix and to live the life to the fullest in the way that you want it to be? And how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Kailasa is liberating the world from the Maya matrix and enlightening people to manifest their reality. The world today. What is rat race? Let us understand about it. A few facts about those who are living in the rat race. About 76% of the population that lives paycheck to paycheck and will face serious problems if they suddenly lose their jobs. You are progressing in your career, but at the same time, more and more bills keep coming to you. A person is entrenched into the rat race. Is a proud owner of a time-consuming job which he desperately needs in order to be able to pay mortgage, rent, bills, credit card, debt, and all kinds of liabilities. The life of everyday man starts by study hard at school, get good grades, and then go to college on a degree, send out resumes, look out for job opportunities, land a corporate job and work as an employee, find yourself with more and more disposable income. Then upgrade your lifestyle and consume more, fund your lifestyle with debt, which is mortgage, credit cards, etc. Stay put at your job because you cannot fund your debt without it. Rinse and repeat until you retire at an old age. Die full of regrets that you did not live a more fulfilling life. This is exactly the rat race. We're going to understand more and more deeper statistics on this very same thing. But unfortunately, 76% of the entire humanity is caught in this. In fact, the whole system is structured in a way that this is the normal path to follow. If you choose it and walk through it, you are celebrated by the society. If you deviate from it, you are challenged and questioned for your choices. This is the default path that people follow and is considered to be the safe approach. People will gladly participate in this vicious loop, unaware of its implications and consequences, just for the false sense of security that it offers. And we need to understand that this is not just with the middle class or mediocre families, but even the so-called rich families. It's only less than 30% of the entire humanity that sees this, and either they decide to break free from it, or there's a certain percentage who are not even to this level. Here, we're looking at some of the statistics on the household debts. Driven by mortgages, household debts hits a new high. As you can see, between 2005 to 2020, especially due to the coronavirus, and so many people had lost their jobs during this pandemic, which directly affected each and every one of them in their life to be able to sustain their day-to-day regular activities as such. And because of which the mortgage rates have gone higher. Statistics on student loan debt. As you can see, in 2019, total student loan debt by age. Borrowers between 35 and 49 have the most outstanding student debts, which is at 548.4 billion US dollars. Especially the reason is because of what we call as the middle age crisis, where you are stuck, you have seen a certain growth in your life, and because of which the greed takes over you, and because the greed takes over you, you start taking more and more loans. The more and more loans you take, you're stuck in this cycle. What is the cost of the consumeristic lifestyle? The total credit card debt of consumeristic lifestyle is sitting at $868 billion in just the United States alone. The problem with the rat race is that there is no finish line. We always look externally, hoping that by getting this, by getting that, we'll be having more and more happiness in our life. But the wheel just keeps spinning, and the longer you're caught in this cycle of consumption, the more natural it becomes. You forget that it wasn't that way. You start off as a young child, going to school, hoping to earn a degree and hoping to get something. Once you earn a degree, then you're looking for a job, hoping that that will bring you more fulfillment. In the job, there you look for buying a house, a car, having a well-settled family. Once you add that, you're adding more liabilities into your life. And step by step, this way you go on adding more and more debts in your life, not just with respect to money, but with respect to your liabilities and commitments. At the end of the life, you do all of these things hoping that you will feel a sense of fulfillment, content. But at the end, where you're about to retire and when you're about to die, when you look back at your life, you just see that, yeah, probably you would have had success in many situations, but not fulfillment in any of those. You'll end up regretting the way you lived. The term rat race first came into colloquial use back in the 1930s to describe any exhausting, unusually competitive activity or routine, especially a pressure urban life spent trying to get ahead with little time left for leisure, contemplation, etc. As you can see, the perfect depiction of the modern rat race. Run for money, lose everything else because of that money, spend that same money to gain those back. Mostly everyone feels drawn to this rat race, ultimately, whether willingly or not. The rat race stems from the primary human mindset of earning more and more money to sustain an ever increasing extravagant lifestyle. It seems people study half their life on a degree in order to land a high paying job and then think their struggles have ended. For many, the battle had just started at this point in time. Now, we have seen these problems. How do we get out of it? What are the solutions? How do we come out of this Maya matrix? How do we come out of this rat race? What are the solutions that Kailasa, Hinduism, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, provides to every one of us? Let us understand what exactly is a Maya matrix. The Maya matrix is actually a network of illusions that make us believe that what we perceive with our senses and cognize with our mind is all that is to the life. It deludes us into believing the artificial ideas that we have created, concept of money, concept of countries, etc., as the most important things in our life. If the pursuit of goals inside the artificial ignorance is driving more than 50% of your life's decisions, then you're caught in the Maya matrix. Swamiji, Sadashiva exists firmly outside the Maya matrix. When we experience Sadashiva, when we manifest the powers of Paramashiva, we are accumulating outside the Maya matrix currency. Inside the Maya matrix, the life that we experience is a very limited way. So understand that is how you gauge your life. Look into your life and see. Is your entire life just based on what the so-called society's way of success, society's way of happiness? Is it just being driven by that? Or do you also have the time where you spend to find the inner powers that exist in you, the inner fulfillment that you owe? If more than 50% of your life decisions are based on just the Maya matrix, then you're in a serious trouble. Getting involved with opinions, whether it's good or bad, keeps you engaged in the Maya matrix. If you build opinions about every person, every situation, everything around your life, you literally polarize with whole life. All this is good for me, all this is bad for me. You will start building more and more and more opinions. You have to be very clear. Building more and more opinions about things that you're seeing within the matrix keeps you engaged with the matrix, establishes the matrix authority over you. You might feel, oh yeah, I should do only the good deeds. I should do services to the people. I should do more and more charity. Yes, you are taking the good decisions in your life, but whether it is good or bad, you are still stuck within the Maya matrix. The solution is not ever going to be you finding for a solution inside the Maya matrix, but to break free from it once and for all. Listen carefully. Whether you're going to conquer or lose is different. The moment you decide to get engaged, you are conquered, you're trapped under the matrix. Because the moment you decide to engage, you accept the reality of the matrix, which is not real. Even if you're going to engage in a conversation, even if you're going to just pay your listening into the conversation, just trying to prove that, see, all that is wrong, you're still stuck in it. So don't even enter into that. Now, how do we come out of this Maya matrix? Your physical, physiological, psychological, and neurological ups and downs are not you. They are of the matrix. Please understand. Anything for which only you survive, don't reproduce, is under the matrix. For anything which you survive and you want to reproduce is beyond the matrix. Understand, you want to be rich and you want to make more and more people rich, you'll be out of the matrix. There are two parts to what we are listening now. First is about yourself, about you experiencing life, the problems that you go through, the ups and downs that you go through in your physical level, which is your body, physiological level with respect to the chemicals and hormones in your body, psychological states of mind, and neurological ups and downs. It is not you. This is a first clear understanding you need to have. Because whatever you're experiencing is because you're stuck in the Maya matrix. So whatever you're experiencing is also of the Maya matrix. The second important truth is that anything that is only a survival need means you're stuck in that Maya matrix. If you have to be able to reproduce something, if you have to be able to contribute something to the world, the only way that is possible is only when you're removed or when you choose to decide to go over the Maya matrix, to go over the rat race. Because as long as you're there in a rat race, you're only stuck with this mentality of buying more and more, debting more and more, and paying more and more. So your life is just stuck in that cycle. But if your brain has to function in a way to be able to reproduce and to share and contribute with people, that automatically takes you beyond the Maya matrix. It could be anything. You can want to be rich and you want to make others rich. You'll be out of Maya matrix. You want to have a healthy body. At the same time, you also want others to be healthy and you share the secret and the science of health with them. Then you'll be out of the Maya matrix. In any which way, when you start contributing to people around you, when you start wanting to reproduce what you have with people around you, you go beyond the Maya matrix. You'll understand the whole circuit. Then your action becomes enriching. It's no more selfish. The ideas for which you want to survive and you want to reproduce gets you out of the Maya matrix. Because for anything you want to survive and you want to enrich others, you want to reproduce becomes a non-selfish act. And a non-selfish act will always lead beyond matrix. Now here there is something that you also need to understand. Many times it will be like, yeah, I do a lot of charity and I do a lot of good work for people. We need to understand what is the reason out of which we are doing it. Many times it is just that, oh, I want to do a status. I gave so much so and so money to so many people and I've given so much of contribution to people. So it is a mere understanding of exchange of giving money to get more and more name and fame from people and society around you. In that case, you're still stuck in the Maya matrix. So it is not just an external action, but the cognition and the context from which you do external action that matters. It could be as simple as you giving a cup of coffee to someone. The moment it is an act without selfishness, it will take you out of the Maya matrix. So understand anything that you reproduce in your life, that you experience in your life, you reproduce in your life, and you want to share it with people around you in your life, you go beyond the Maya matrix. For anything that you want to survive, for that desire, for that hope, and for that purpose, but you don't want others to have it, then you will be within the Maya matrix and under the matrix, because that will be rooting from the selfishness. So this is the clear difference. This is the clear understanding, the demarcation between being stuck in the rat race, the Maya matrix, and coming out of the Maya matrix. How to gauge and how to actually come out of the Maya matrix. Let's listen from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on the matrix lifestyle.
if your purpose is based on existential reality and having all the artificial ignorance to support that, you are already out of the matrix. But if your purpose is artificial ignorance, even if you own the whole planet Earth, ownership idea itself is artificial stupidity. Within the matrix, anything you do is waste of your time, which is life for you. Your time is money for your boss, pleasure for your beloved. Your time has a various meaning for many people in your life, but for you, your time is life. Understand the meaning of your time. For your boss is money. Meaning of your time for the people who is in love with you or loved by you is attention, love. Meaning of your time for your son or daughter is to have what they want, their education or their house or whatever they want. Each one of them have a different meaning for your time. Your meaning you need to have for your time. The word your time, the meaning you need to have is your life. Understand, if your purpose is existential reality and artificial ignorance, artificial intelligence of the matrix is used to support it, great, you are out of the matrix. But if your purpose itself is artificial ignorance or artificial intelligence, I tell you, you are wasting your life. You are not living, you are grown.
The moment you start seeing,
you are not living, you are grown. When you hook your gadgets to the grid, be very clear, you are hooked, not your gadgets. When you hook your gadgets to the grid, you are hooked to the grid, not your gadgets. Your gadgets are the tub in which you are sleeping and you are hooked. The artificial pleasure you feel in your Facebook friends and the gadgets, with that is the liquid, lubrication liquid on which you are grown. Understand, it is 110 volt current in the Matrix movie. I'll call it as a 120 because 120B is conspiracy in Indian IPC. It's a 120B, greatest conspiracy against humanity. Please listen. If artificial intelligence or artificial ignorance, which all of us commonly accepted and created, if that becomes the purpose of your goal, you are grown, not living. I have given few satsangs in last few weeks elaborately on this matrix and on these 25 states of consciousness, 5 aspects of Sadashiva, 11 dimensions of universe. I sincerely recommend all of you watch those satsangs in next few days as a preparation for Sadashivoham. That will be a powerful preparation for Sadashivoham. Understand, the worst thing can happen to a man is not poverty, being grown without living under the matrix. That is the worst thing can happen to a human being. I tell you, let artificial intelligence not be your purpose. It's a very good servant, but that is not purpose of life. If that becomes purpose of your life, more than 51% of you is occupied by the artificial intelligence. Already you are under matrix. Matrix has started for you. And the people in the matrix always try to attack the spaceship. This is the spaceship survived all the attacks of the matrix. Understand? It cannot be destroyed. If you have seen the Matrix movie, how the artificial intelligence tries to attack the spaceship, that's exactly the Ravana trying to lift the Kailasa with multiple hands and heads. But he is crushed under the Kailasa. He is subdued as a servant. Finally, so sit today and try to understand how much of you is matrix filled, Maya matrix filled. Whenever you are putting your gadgets on the grid, hooking them on the grid, be very clear. It's not your gadgets, you. It's not your gadgets, it's you. You are grown, not living.
So we listened from Swamiji himself, from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, about how we are stuck in the matrix and how we can actually get over the matrix. Let us now take a look at how Kailasa will support you to come over the matrix. The Nithyananda Hindu University. The last living person who has the knowledge on this system, Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, is fortunately reviving this knowledge transmission system. The Nithyananda Hindu University, which was conceived with this objective by Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam in 2000 and legitimized by establishing the university in the United States in 2007. Today, the Nithyananda Hindu University is the largest Hindu university in the world. As you can see, there are over 5,992 courses in over 150 countries with 20 million plus enrollments. The Nithyananda Hindu University draws inspiration from the millennia-old Vedic tradition of ancient India, the oldest living stream of transformational science in the world today. The pragmatic Vedic civilization is credited with many significant firsts in the field of yoga, medicine, astronomy, mathematics, and navigation, among others. Reinterpreting the Vedic wisdom in the light of the modern life and needs, the Nithyananda Hindu University creates the space for powerful transformation of the individual and community. The Nithyananda Hindu University represents the revival of most of the ancient knowledge transmission systems. It is of the lineage of the oldest university, as per known records that it was first stated in Kailasa by Paramashiva himself, and then established in various sacred places such as the Naimisharanya, Varanasi, Kanchi, Madura, Avantika, etc., the Mokshapuris. Paramashivoham. The Nithyananda Hindu University conducts the Paramashivoham program. Paramashivoham is not just a meditation program, it is pushing humanity to the next level of consciousness, to the consciousness of Paramashiva, the ultimate superconsciousness as per Hinduism. The avatar, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhava Nithyananda Paramashivam, who has realized the state of superconsciousness, is transmitting his way experience of Paramashivoham via initiation. This program will change you, who you know as yourself, your very being, to make you radiate the superconsciousness. More than ever, humanity needs to experience a superconscious breakthrough. While the materialistic, hedonistic society reaches its peak after the maximum profits, depression, boredom, anxiety, stress, wrong ideas about sex have become rampant. Rich countries that hold about 90% of the world's wealth are seeing more than 50% of their population depressed and using medication. So joining us today on this panel, we have Murli Ayya from Chennai, who will be sharing with us, who will be joining us for this discussion on how the rat race of the society is taking over the entire society and how most of us are caught out in this knowingly or unknowingly and are struggling with not being able to know the solutions to come over it. So I now request and welcome Murli Ayya on this panel to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Maharaj. Murali from Chennai, India here. Feeling blessed to be a part of this discussion today. I've been with Swamiji from 2013. I came to attend one program called Inner Awakening. Much like what is happening in Paramashivoham now, which is happening back to back throughout the year. Swamiji used to conduct this Inner Awakening. At that point of time, I remember myself being very narrow. What I didn't know at that time, that I was very narrow in my thinking, very shallow in my thought process and all that. And Swamiji made me realize how the human logic is a very, very small, narrow scale to judge anybody happening around. It's a very profound experience I had, and many of my ideas got broken. My cognition expanded, deepened, and the way I started looking at people, situations, everything around me changed a very good deal, and it's for the better, I should say, because the whole thing has stuck in me so well that I couldn't imagine how I could have been in a very small, narrow space at that time. Many clicks have happened, many physical miracles have happened. It's a wonderful journey in life with Swamiji since then. And when we talk about, coming to today's topic, talk about rat race. See, everything is competitive. We are always given grades, ranks. Even I'm in the education industry now, so I can understand it more from my view. If I look at life from my dimension, we always give marks and ranks to students, and based on their performance in the exam is what we decide whether they become eligible for a higher education in a particular stream. Now, this has become so much a part of our life that we are not able to imagine how else things could have been. Because this is the way we judge the eligibility criteria. Kailasa is a totally different ambience altogether. Here we are not interested in competition. Here we are interested only in transformation. We are interested in the true passion at the being level. We want to make a student go through a particular vocation, go through a course, do a course or pursue some vocation because one is truly interested in that. It really gives him pleasure and fulfillment. And this has nothing to do with how much it pays. It is not money oriented. One is not motivated through greed or any peer pressure to take up anything. So it's a very beautiful ambience. How one can act, what is true passion? What is passion without money? Is something that one needs to experience to even understand a glimpse of it. So it's very difficult for an outsider to even relate to this. How one cannot give grades to students, how one cannot have any competition but just go through passion, and how will actually one earn money? How will one have bread and butter? This might all be the logical questions which our viewers might be having now. So if only one comes to Kailasa and experiences the ambience, it will even be clear. What is true passion? What is passion beyond money? One has to know that. And when we say Hinduism is a way of life, it's not just some fashion statement that we are making. It means that Hinduism has something to offer to the world. Kailasa has something to offer to the world in all dimensions. Like, what is Kailasa way of education? The Gurukul system, what is that? What is the Kailasa way of medicine? What is the Kailasa way of making a career? Every dimension, Hinduism has something to say, and a true practicing Hindu will look at the idea of career, will look at the idea of education, everything in a totally new light as compared to how it is viewed in the modern day, in the outside world today. So to know the stark, to know this difference, to understand this difference, one has to come here and experience, because it is very, very difficult. It's hardly any point. You can hardly ever put everything in words. What Kailasa can do, what the ambience Kailasa can do. It's a huge mission Swamiji has undertaken, and no words will be enough. No amount of time will be enough to describe it in words. And even if it is put in words, it will not mean anything unless you actually experience it.
Yes.
Only then we will even realize how much of a conspiracy we are going through, how much we are being a victim of a lot of vested interest. We have become so much used to a lot of things that we don't even realize that we are now a victim of a lot of vested interest phenomena that are happening around us. So let me elaborate in a more specifically at a further instance. Thank you, Maharaj, now for the mic.
Yes, Aya. Thank you very much for sharing your insights as to how the general people, most of us are stuck in the rat race of the society, and how the teaching methodologies, or how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in Sri Kailasa, how Swamiji is providing the solution to the entire humanity to get over this rat race. Joining us today, we also have Renosan Edmund from Canada. Nithyananda Renosan, I request you to share. You could introduce yourself and also share your thoughts and insights about the rat race that the current society is being put into, knowingly or unknowingly, and how Sri Kailasa is working towards helping people to overcome this.
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. Nithyananda, everyone. My name is Renoshan and I'm from Canada. And I've been a disciple of Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, for since around 2013. First program was in Paramashivoham, and then from there continuously engaging with Swamiji, being active in different ways. And so today, the topic of why Kailasa, when it comes to the Maya matrix, the rat race, as we've seen in today's pre-satsang session, the different slides about what is actually happening in the world, what is actually meant by the rat race, what is meant by the, as Swamiji shares, the mediocre middle life, the middle class lifestyle, basically. See, it's the space where you start to form your own conclusions about how your life is. And so there's no actual exploring in your life. There's no actually anything new in your life. Everything that comes down, it's almost like you have a certain frame for your life. Okay, I'm going to go to school, pay off my student debt, get a nice job, nice house, kids, grow old, see the grandkids, and then I'm going to die. You literally just plan for your death. But in Hinduism, in Kailasa, first thing we go through is the death meditation, going through the death process, because actually life happens only after death. Life happens when you go through death, because only after you go through death, the new life can happen. This is the fundamental of Hinduism. This is the fundamental of what is a Hindu. This is the fundamental base of Kailasa, to give you life. Kailasa is an ecosystem where you're, it's as Swamiji was sharing, this whole ecosystem is a tapas ecosystem. It's such a beautiful ecosystem where we support each other and really bring each other to the deeper and deeper transformation. Where's the ecosystem where tapas can happen is such a beautiful ecosystem, because no more there's any fear about death. As also the Kalabhairava is happening in a few short days. There's no more the fear of death. It actually becomes a liberation. It becomes a very exciting time in the life. It becomes a transformative period. And so when it comes to the rat race, when it comes to the Maya matrix, when it comes to how Sri Kailasa contributes, is the very fundamental basis of Kailasa, is give you the right context for life. The fundamental basis of Hinduism is to set the right context for life. Swamiji comes down in our life and again and again and again is repeating the same thing, just to again and again give us the right context for life, always reminding us about the right context for life, the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers, being, superconsciousness, Kailasa of Paramashiva. The Hindu Gurukul, so the Nithyananda Gurukul, is the base where from the very young age, you are taught about what is the right context for life. The right context for life, and from there the life starts. And you become such an active, contributing member of society. As Swamiji shares, even if you're engaging in the Maya matrix from the context of beyond the Maya matrix, then it is actually helping the world, because you're creating now an ecosystem where you can help others get out of the Maya matrix. But as soon as you go into the Maya matrix, as soon as you go into the rat race thinking, oh, I'm going to get ahead of this, I'm going to be the best in this, I'm going to be the best in that, you're still in the rat race. Even if you win the rat race, you're still in the rat race. So yes, this is just what I wanted to wrap up with this point, is how Hinduism, how Kailasa, how Swamiji is contributing to helping people out of this mediocre lifestyle, helping people out of the rat race, out of the feeling of bondage, is giving the right context for life. What is actually life? What is life worth living for? So this is what I wanted to share.
Yes, thank you very much, Renoshan. And very wonderful points that you had brought out, especially while sharing. And as you were sharing, there are multiple programs, multiple opportunities that Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is giving each and every one of us to go over the Maya matrix. Especially now, the upcoming Bhava Samadhi Darshan on 4th of April, experiencing the Kalabhairava Bhava Samadhi Darshan, the Kalabhairavoham, on the auspicious day of Ashtami, Kalabhairava Ashtami. And then on 7th of April, we have the Vaidishwara Bhava Samadhi Darshan for the health and wellness of people, to experience the dimension of health not ever heard of before, and ultimately having permanent solutions such as foundation itself, like how Renoshan was sharing, the Nithyananda Gurukul, where the kids right from the young age are taught. At this point in time, if you go and ask a kid, what do you want to do in your future? I want to become a doctor, or I want to become a lawyer, or I want to become a scientist. All of this within the matrix. So giving the right education about understanding what life is all about, not just stuck within the Maya matrix, but something more beyond that. So one is getting stuck in that and then trying to come out of which, for which Bhagavan Swamiji is already providing solutions. Second, right from a foundational way, teaching the fundamentals of life in the Nithyananda Gurukul, making the children understand and grow with the right cognitions so they are untouched and unaffected by the Maya matrix, a beautiful ecosystem provided to the children all across the globe, such that right from the young age, this beautiful science is there. Not just that they are not stuck in this Maya matrix, but they become the epicenters. They provide and they create ecosystems such that so many other beings all across the globe can also be benefited from it and can also be pulled out of the Maya matrix. And I'm sure that this is an ever-ending topic and there's a lot of discussion that can go on into it. And we'll be continuing this in further segments of the pre-satsang. Today, I'd like to thank Reinosan and Muraliya for joining us. And I also want to invite all the viewers all across the globe to enroll yourself for Paramashivoham.org to experience a life transforming experience of how you can practically get out of the Maya matrix. To have a glimpse of it, initially you can attend the Kalabhairava Bhava Samadhi Darshan to experience life beyond death on 4th of April 2021 and experience the best of health and the true meaning of health by attending the Vaidishwara Bhava Samadhi Darshan on 7th of April 2021. You can go over to kailasa.org and register for these Bhava Samadhi Darshans and ultimately give your children and give them the opportunity to go beyond all of this, not even getting stuck in any of this. Join the Nithyananda Gurukul. You can go over to contact at kailasa.org and put out your invitations, or if you have any questions as to how you can become part of Sri Kailasa, you can always feel free to email us at that. Now, it is time that we beautifully prepare ourselves for the NithyanandaSatsang. And let us all sit straight with our head, neck and spine in a straight line. And remember Swamiji in our third eye. Let us chant the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, to experience that oneness with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Hara Hara Vaidishwara Paramashiva. Hara Hara Vaidishwara Paramashiva, the only Purusha, infused life in all beings, enlightening the world through His grace. But when His truth is forgotten, out of ignorance and darkness, diseases arise. Given birth only in the recent days, it hits all the countries hard. Ruthless towards vulnerable communities, the pandemic is at full throttle. Leaders are urged to monitor health inequities and to ensure access to health services. But yet, the pandemic's momentum is hard to overtake. When the world is overwhelmed, when solutions are not made available to all, the divine remains the only option. Engaging in prayers, beings yearn for the divine grace. Seeking refuge at the feet of the ultimate being, Paramashiva, Vaidishwara, and at his feet, no prayers remain unanswered. Out of pure compassion, he assumed the human form to bestow his grace upon his devotees.
Name bhakta pranashyati. My devotees do not perish.
Raise yourself by entangling with the avatar. Receive the blessings and direct healing and protection from Vaidishwara himself. Hara Hara Vaidishwara.
Connecting with the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with the divine with your eyes open is darshan. Come, let us all now move from meditation to darshan. Slowly, very slowly, please open your eyes.
Nithyananda Ananta Sayana Ananta Rupa Mama Gurunanda 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 Pranava Swarupa Nithyanarayana 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 Kamala Manohara Nithyananda Kamala Manohara Nithyananda Kamala Manohara Nithyananda Ananda Sayana Mama Gurunada Ananda Sayana Mama Gurunada Ananda Sayana Mama Gurunada Ananda Sayana Mama Gurunada Nithyananda Ananta Sayana Ananta Rupa Mama Gurunanda Nithyananda Ananta Sayana Ananta Rupa Mama Gurunanda नित्यनारायण प्रणवस्वरूपा नित्यनारायण प्रणवस्वरूपा नित्यनारायण प्रणवस्वरूपा नित्यनारायण कमलमनोहरा नित्यानन्दा कमलमनोहरा नित्यानन्दा नित्यानन्दा आनन्दशयन मम गुरु
ॐ नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवसमारम्भाम् नित्यानन्देश्वरि पराशक्तिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् I welcome you all with my love and respect. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Shri Mahants, Mahants, Tanedar Kotari, visitors, viewers. Mantreshwaras, Vidyeshwaras, Ganeshwaras, Lokeshwaras, Astreshwaras, ministers, ambassadors, diplomats, e-diplomats, consulate generals, supporters, everyone sitting with us all over the world, with my love, respects, blessings. Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. Initiation into superdeterminism is the message of Paramashiva from Kailasa directly. Listen. Initiation into superdeterminism. Understand this great